Hey, what's up? This is Chosen, and in this video, we are going to be going over the Diablo 4 beta. I have been playing it extensively. The first day that it was live, probably 10 hours or so, got a character to max out level 25, farmed up basically full legendary, and have been trying to kind of optimize legendary per hour, farming in Act 1, and figuring out the different mechanics of the game. So in this video, I wanted to give you like a first impressions, how I just generally feel in terms of like the good and the bad and what's standing out to me and what's noteworthy, for giving you feedback on the Diablo 4 beta experience so far here in Act 1, leveling up to level 25. Let's get into it. Alrighty, so first off, let's start with some good things and some positive things that I've noticed so far playing the Diablo 4 beta. So I think in general, the aesthetic and how the world looks and feels, and the audio and the cutscenes and all that, the general feel and look of the game is really pretty solid. I think this is a good canvas for something that can be pretty successful long term, and also the responsiveness of the different skills. Combat feels good. It's not really clunky. The audio and how good it feels to kind of like hit an enemy and all of that. It is pretty tactile. I don't know the word to describe it, but I do like the overall feel and aesthetic of the game. And I think it's true to the Diablo franchise. Some people might think it's a little bit too like grayscale or something, but you're never gonna please everybody. If you go the more Diablo 3 aesthetic, then there's gonna be a lot of people that don't like that. So I think all in all, it's a pretty good look and feel for sure. And we've got an event here. I gotta take a break in the video. We definitely want to do the event for sure. I was gonna do a video on this. I think these are really good to make sure and farm these events. And I guess that leads me into another maybe cool point is that the world feels kind of good. I think there is some things they could do with mob density or something, and grouping up, but we'll talk about some of that in the negative section. Maybe I want to show you what an event looks like. So in this one, the boss in the middle is tethering these different mobs that come in for a sacrifice, and you have to stop it from sacrificing 3 of them, and it's going to kind of ramp up and get a little bit tougher. There's my hide right here. Sorcerer is the first one that I leveled up to 25, and I do want to try to at least probably get all of them to max level if I get enough time this weekend. We'll see. So this is going to have about 30 seconds left on this event, and I got to keep stopping these tethered dogs that the boss wants to drag in for a sacrifice. I got to stop them from getting there. And there we go. We got the mastery. So we did it with all 3 without it getting any sacrifices in. And the reason these are so good is because you get this chest afterwards, and then you get this resource here, these 35 murmuring obols, and you can use those as basically blood shards. And I was going to do a dedicated video on that for sure, because that's a really good resource to get and focus on for rounding out your character. But yeah, that's what an event looks like, and the general aesthetic and the combat and all of that, the look and feel of the game is really pretty solid so far. Also, under the positives is Town Portal. Look how quick this is. It's like a 5-second town portal. So we go 1, 2, 3. It's like 4 seconds. And I love that. In Diablo 3, it was like 8 seconds or something. So it seems like they made the town portal like twice as fast. So just a random little thing I noticed is the town portal is nice and quick and snappy. And I would also say under the positives would be the classes. So far, we haven't seen the necromancer and the druid. Next weekend, we'll be able to experience all 5 classes. But I would say so far, they all feel like they have a good and different and unique design to them. They all feel different to play, and they all have advantages and disadvantages and can do some cool things that make them unique. So I think the baseline, the foundation of the class design seems to be going in a good direction, at least so far here at the initial launch of the game. So that's some overarching positive views of things. Now, let's talk about some concerns and some things that are maybe a little bit negative, not necessarily awful, but things to work on maybe to make the game a little bit better. First of all, there's like some random optimization things, like there's a memory leak. If you go down here somewhere in one of these areas, all of a sudden your PC will start lagging like crazy. It'll start getting like 5 frames per second. So a little optimization there. If you notice that happening, check if you went down town to the southwest. In one of these areas down here, it starts causing your PC to lag like crazy. I've talked to other creators and other people playing the game, and they've experienced the same thing. So that's one little optimization thing. But just in general, I would say one negative thing is town feels a little bit clunky. It feels like a little bit spread out. Maybe I'm a spoiled Diablo 3 player where you've got like your blacksmith and Kadawa and your stash and everything kind of right there, nice and localized. This one is definitely a lot more spread out, where you've got to go all the way down here to the blacksmith, which is like a 10-second walk, and then to go from the blacksmith to your stash is like a 25-second walk. You got to come all the way up here, and then your stash is like up in this house. You got to go in here, go up 2 flights of stairs, go into this room, and then your stash. So it's like a 25-second walk from the blacksmith to your stash, which seems like a little bit clunky in my opinion, but not like a game-breaking awful don't play the game kind of thing. Just something minor. Is town feels a little bit too spread out and a little bit clunky. Grouping up for campaign stages and playing together with friends also doesn't feel great in my opinion. Like I did a bunch of quests with my friend Darth Microtransaction. He's been a long-standing Diablo Immortal creator, and we were leveling and doing quests together, and I had to redo everything. I didn't even seem to get credit for the quests that we were doing together, and we were about the same level and everything. It's not like I was level 1 and he was level 20 and he was power leveling me. We were both contributing and we were close to the same spot in the game, and maybe we did something wrong in terms of how we selected the quest or whatever, but I didn't even get credit for anything, and I had to go redo it by myself, even though I just did the quests with him and we were the same level and everything. So grouping feels a little bit wonky, and again, it's one of those situations where a lot of us just ended up going off and playing on our own just for like the leveling experience and stuff, because it doesn't really seem to be that intuitive to group up and do the things with people. I bet that it changes in the end game, and I guarantee it ends up making a lot more sense to be in a group, and it's not like a final judgment of the game. But as far as like the Act 1 leveling experience, it almost seems a little bit better just to do it solo, unless we did the quest wrong or something, like I said. Also, the potion system feels a little bit lame and underdeveloped and just not as good as it should be. Let me go out here and take a little bit of damage. I'll explain what the potion system is. So right here on top of my health globe, there's that 5 out of 5. That's my potions, and you can hit Q to use them. Oh, we've got another event here. Nice. So what you do, let me take a little bit of damage here. You run in, take a little bit of damage, ideally. But anyway, when you take damage, you hit Q to heal. And then so like in Diablo 3, they drop those like red health globes. That doesn't really happen in Diablo 4. What happens is you take damage like that, and then you hit Q, and you see it used up one of my charges. Now I'm at 4 out of 5, and I healed up a little bit. And then there's like an artisan or a vendor in town where you collect different ingredients to upgrade your potion, but it's basically just like a point and click kind of thing to level it up. And you know, I understand some people don't like the PoE flask system because you end up just having a bunch of stuff that you have to spam constantly. But I feel like there's a happy medium where the potion system could be not a spammy kind of intrusive thing, but it also could be a lot more fleshed out and robust than what its current boring version is. I would also say that the loot isn't as fun and intuitive as I would have hoped that it would be. And again, maybe it gets a lot better in the end game, but it doesn't really feel good. I don't know how to describe it. It doesn't really feel good to hunt for loot or find an upgrade. You don't really like feel the impact. It doesn't like change your character like crazy. And again, it's probably not supposed to when you're just level 10 or whatever. But it just the feedback from leveling 1 to 25, the loot grinding and loot exploration and checking for new drops and stuff like that wasn't quite as exciting as I would have thought that it would be. And I've gotten mostly kind of decked out and found a bunch of legendaries and all of that. So I'm going to continue to do so and see if I can get all of the crazy legendaries and get all the options available to me to try different builds here on at least the sorceress, and hopefully get time for some other classes. But at least like the early game loot system, I would hope that they would take a little bit of a look at and try to adjust it, make it a little bit more fun in some sort of way. Then as far as the skills and the abilities and the skill tree kind of cycling through and doing stuff, Honestly, I don't know to put it in a positive or a negative category. I do think this board has potential. They've got the keyword search, which is super cool. That's a good idea to have on here. And it's you know, it kind of looks like a dumbed down version of like that crazy PoE skill tree that really intimidates all the new players and stuff. But you've got different nodes here that unlock different abilities for skills, and I'm sure they'll continue to work on this and make it more and more robust as the game ages, and there'll be all sorts of different synergies and skills and builds that you can theory craft and build. So I think there's a lot of potential in the system, but right now it almost feels a little bit underwhelming or kind of lame, like there isn't a whole lot of choice in it. But I do think the canvas is there for something cool in terms of some of the skills and the different ways to build your heroes between the different classes for sure. And I will put in the positive category that at least for the beta, it's decently realistic to refund all of the nodes. Really not that bad. You know, you can see that it's costing me 2,800 and it's super cheap, like when you're level 10. So don't, if you are playing the beta, don't feel bad about resetting your stuff. Try something out for a few minutes. If you're not liking it, try something else, or just for fun, try something else. It's really not that bad of a cost here. You can see 2,800 gold is really not that big of a problem for me. I could very easily respec into a different build and try it out, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. Right now, I'm trying out this kind of like blend of fire build with ice armor, and I'll try out the lightning build and the cold build and try to farm up as many legendaries as I can for different synergies and stuff like that, and really test out what I like the most on the sorcerer. So I do want to give them credit for allowing us to reset things at a pretty realistic cost. So all in all, I would say day one, first general reaction is mostly positive. There's like, obviously the game isn't even out yet. We haven't even seen a season. We haven't seen them release an expansion pack. We haven't seen them flesh out some of these systems and really get the game rolling where we're in the end game and we're really theory crafting builds as a community and we're experiencing season leaderboards and all of that. So I do think the canvas is there for a successful game. If they get the end game right, if they get the itemization right, if they get trading right, like me and Darth, my friend I was playing with, we were able to drop items and share them and stuff. So if they continue to do things properly, I am hopeful for the future of Diablo 4, and I think they've got a good foundation for a game that has potential to be very good. I would say right now, at least my first gut reaction, I would say it's not very good yet. I would say it's decent, at least in terms of like the early game leveling process. Maybe at level 40 or level 50 or in the end game, it gets amazing. And I'll do another video talking about how, wow, my first impressions video was wrong. It gets way better down the road. But as of right now, I would say it's okay. It's not amazing, but the potential is there. The foundation is there for it to be amazing. So yeah, that's my thoughts. Let me know what you think down below, and remember to subscribe on your way out if you enjoy daily Diablo content. I will keep grinding the beta and trying to keep you in the loop on exactly everything that is happening in terms of the different builds I've tried and the different thoughts that I have on some of these systems and what might be the most optimal for starting the game and all of that. So I appreciate you. Have a good rest of your day. Thanks for watching. Peace.